Made man back at it. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. One of the things that's funny about today's boxing, how I can't understand how a lot of boxers really don't want to attain greatness. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the things that has left the sport that I really miss dearly. I talk a lot about that, about how some fighters like to attain greatness and look out for their legacy, and some of them are actually just fighting for straight money. Now, in Kell Brook's case, I don't know what he's fighting for at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, nevertheless, I have to go on a record and I have to say this because I really believe it. I don't consider Kell Brook at this particular point a top welterweight anymore. He has literally procrastinated himself, in my opinion, out of that position. He hadn't had a credible opponent or an elite level opponent. Now, here we go, going on 3 fights since he's won that world title. Since he's won that IBF world title. You know what I mean? Since he took that off Porter, he hasn't had that dude yet. We know he's been running after Khan. We know this dude is just injury after injury. We know, there's always some shit that goes down with Kell Brook. We all know that. But how can we consider this dude now a top welterweight? And take in mind, most rankings you'll read from the Ring magazine on down, they still have Kell Brook top 3 in the welterweight division. How? How? Because other fighters have took losses? Because other fighters have fought more credible opponents? How? At this point, Kell Brook has done nothing. He's hid behind this IBF mandatory thing. We got that in the fight after the Porter fight. Who did he fight for the did he fight Jojo Dan? We got that in that fight. He hid behind it now. Now we're getting Kevin Bizier. And of course, he's hiding behind the IBF mandatory, which I don't understand. If you're getting with, Eddie Hearn, Kell Brook's manager, did a piss poor job with Kell Brook. Point blank. It seems as if they were only banking on one fight, and that was the Amir Khan fight. He's done a terrible job with Brook. He's promoted him like, they've been promoting him like shit. He's had shit fights. No one cares. No one knows. I found it very entertaining when Floyd Mayweather went over there on his UK tour doing whatever the fuck he's doing, and he referred to Kell Brook as Kell Brock. You know what I mean? Which we all know Floyd Mayweather knows his name, but he referred to the guy as Kell Brock. He might well be Kell Brock because no one doesn't know who he is. You might well call his ass Kell Brock. They've done a bad job with this dude, and Kell Brook is such a skilled fighter. That's what makes it frustrating. He's a very, very skilled fighter. You put him in a ring with any of the top welterweights, I say he beat most of them, and that's just my opinion. But the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it, and we don't know if he can do it. Prior to Sean Porter, his toughest fight was Carson Jones. Carson Jones. And we haven't seen any higher level opponent. Everything has fell through. Diego Chavez fell through. Brandon Rios fell through. Everybody falls through when it comes to Kell Brook. And now Kell Brook wants to run around and say he wants to fight Gennady Golovkin. You dick-riding motherfucker. All you want to do, you see Khan out here with the Canelo fight, and now you want to run around, oh, I'd fight Triple G. Triple G ain't thinking about you, Kell Brook. He ain't thinking about you, man. Nobody's thinking about you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just being real. Only person who may be thinking about you is Earl Spence. And that's because he's right there, man, in those IBF rankings. And he's coming for that fucking title. Let's see you duck Earl Spence. Every other person at the IBF top 5 welterweight at this particular time is probably busy. With the exception, I think, of Chris Algieri. Fuck, I prefer that fight. Take Chris Algieri. Khan at least took that fight. I'd take that fight over Kevin Bizier. No disrespect to Kevin Bizier. But I'm just saying. The man needs names, man. In today's era of boxing, when you have, you got to have something going, man. But people are starting to get tired of this formula of low-level fight, low-level fight, low-level fight, low-level fight, low-level fight, good fight. Low-level fight, low-level fight, good fight. We're getting tired of that formula. Boxing now has competition, unlike yesteryear. Boxing has UFC now, and they better compete with them fast. UFC is putting on the best matches that they can find within their ranks. Boxing isn't doing that. And when this happens in today's era, when boxing has competition, you get Kell Brooks. Most diehard fans, man, including myself, have Kell Brook ranked so high skill-wise. But he doesn't have those dudes, man. He don't have that resume. He don't have no opponents. And he ain't looking for any. Outside of Amir Khan, I don't know who's the plan B, man. Who's the plan B? Eddie Hearn doesn't have beef with everyone in the boxing world. He can make fights across party lines, if you will. There's no issue there. Kell Brook comes up in the leg and shit, man. You know, I was riding high on Kell Brook after that Sean Porter fight. I was riding very high on Kell Brook. And I've gave Khan enough shit in my videos. But Kell Brook is really the guy who's just, I don't know what the fuck he's doing, man. What is he fighting for? He ain't making no major purses. He ain't attracting no big eyeballs. He's not a pay-per-view star. He's not an A-side fighter. He ain't going after the big names. What is he doing? He's just content. He's running in place. He's cool with his IBF strap, his little IBF strap. He's cool with that. I heard another uploader say, what did he say? He said that IBF strap is losing value. Who did I hear? That was my man EJ Boxing. EJ Boxing said that. That IBF strap is losing value. I agree with that, man. IBF got to be sitting back like, goddamn, we got to get this guy. We got to sanction a better fight. We got to tell Kell Brook we not okay in this shit. But then again, the IBF is behind this shit. These are IBF mandatories, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Bizier is an IBF mandatory. You know what I'm saying? And that's the excuse that these motherfuckers are going to hide behind. No one wants to see it. No one's checking for it, Kell Brook. This dude better step his shit up. There ain't no one on the horizon. He ain't going to fights calling people out. We don't see this guy at rings. I'm hearing he's not even going to be ringside for Thurman and Porter, for crying out loud. What is Kell Brook doing? Break it down to me, somebody, please. I don't know. What is he doing? He's running in fucking place. This is the third straight fight, ladies and gentlemen, that we will get of a guy that's just not the guy. No offense, once again, to Kevin Bizier. But at this particular time, Kevin Bizier, we just don't want to see you fight Kell Brook, man. We want to see that guy tested, man. I'm not even sure now if this guy is even still a welterweight anymore, in my opinion. I'm being honest. He's a big welterweight, ladies and gentlemen. I think Brook can easily fight at 54. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with that dude, man. But he need to get it together. He need to get it together fast. And Eddie Hearn need to come up with a game plan for Kell Brook in like yesterday. Because I'm telling you, as time progresses, no one gives a fuck about Kell Brook. Until the next video, it's your main man, me, man. Don't forget to subscribe.